We are up. Happy, healthy, beautiful day, friends. Eric Higgins here, holistic health coach and actor calling out of Portugal, sharing today with the amazing Dr. Bob Rakowski, 15 years sharing treasures around the world, health treasures that are impacting lives in ways you wouldn't even imagine. So, Houston, Texas, last Saturday, we celebrated 15 years, Dr. Bob. First of all, I just like to say thank you so much for sharing with a friend who shared with me a life changing, I would say, product, but more of a intervention, if you would, and obviously a business as well that's really impacted our lives in a very, very special way. So, first of all, Dr. Bob, just want to welcome you to this call. I know we're live in a number of our groups as well. So, hey guys, if you're watching this or you're watching in the replay, let us know if you attended the event, what your biggest takeaway was from the event. But Dr. Bob, welcome to the call. You're someone who's been doing this as a business alongside of your other endeavors with your clinical practice, with your real estate business. You know, your life has been busy, but this edition of our company and our health movement has been really impactful for you. But what was the biggest takeaway? Well, one of the biggest takeaways for you at the 15-year birthday celebration just Saturday gone in Houston?
Well, one, happiness, celebration, expansion, excitement, great growth for 15 years, primed for even more epic growth. In fact, I think that we'll do more in the next 5 years than we've done in the previous 15, and even by far. But I think the biggest takeaway was anybody can do this. Anybody who can get out of their way. And so, probably the most empowering story was a couple from Panama that was really, really struggling. He had lost his job, not much income opportunity at all, had to borrow money to get started. And by the way, it's a very low entry fee to get started, and yet built with his family the number one lifestyle in the world. Now traveling the world, sharing treasures, having huge impact, and enjoying a better life than they really thought was possible for them. And I'll tell you what, it's possible for all of us.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing story, just seeing that piece together, because sharing your story of progress is something really powerful. And if you've got a story that can inspire other people, you really owe it to other people to share it, because it can really help people along in a situation where they may be really struggling. So the stories at these events just really reignite the fire in you to go out and grow and share this, because you don't know what people are struggling with. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges today that people stress about. First of all, is their health. If you don't have your health in check, then everything is going to be really falling down and breaking apart. But if you can address both of those things, to have more abundance, more choices in life, and have your health, I think that's such a win-win. And seeing those people, if I share this image again, just seeing a lot of these amazing people that we get to work with from all over the world just walk across the stage and get recognized for their achievements, for being different, for stepping out there and really making a difference in their own lives and other people's lives as well. So, because you made a decision, Dr. Bob, 11 years ago, yourself and Kelly, you guys are such a powerful unit. First of all, you guys absolutely rocked it. You hosted everyone. You did such an amazing job on making people feel really welcome. And what I love about working with you guys is we feel like we're part of your family. And that's very unique when it comes to business, because a lot of business is really just, employee status. You come in, you've got to work for someone else. And, in a lot of cases, people just do enough not to get fired, essentially. But in this, everyone comes in as an equal. And I absolutely love that. But just hats off to you guys for putting on an amazing supportive, or sharing an amazing supportive environment for all of these people to be part of and be part of your legacy as well. So were there obviously big celebrations as well for the likes of Emily as well, sharing on Instagram, sharing her journey, sharing her testimony, and getting a big award at that event as well. So any special mentions you'd like to pull on for the day of people that are in your organization, Dr. Bob, that you wanted to give a special extra shout out to?
Well, we'd like to name everybody, right? So we've got a little over 26,000 people right now. So that's a little bit hard to do, but we might just share the people that were on stage, and it started out with Dr. Paul Charlton out of Canada, And here's a guy that has just consistently stepped up his game. If you asked him, a couple of years ago, hey, do you want center stage? He would have said no. In fact, that's what he did say a couple of years ago. But he was nudged in, and suddenly started stepping up his game. He did a training for our last virtual event, brought in a professional camera crew, sound crew. I don't know if he had a Thor Spielberg, but someone pretty doggone good calling the shots there. But he looked like $1 million, $1 trillion. And so basically he's got center stage at the last several live events. Then we go with Diane Solano, one of my absolute favorite stories. You look at where she came from. When I introduced her to the business opportunity, she was more than just struggling. She had stepped away from clinical practice, stayed home to raise her son, and really thought that she was going to have, as she would say, that storybook ending, that Cinderella story, but it did not work out that way. And just suddenly, very suddenly, a single mom, and with no means. And, we worked together, mostly her. I'll give her 98% her, 2% with a little support from us. But she learned the skills, she applied, and she created the life of the dreams for her and her son. Then we could move on to Emily. Emily, and I wasn't even remembering our original story. She had a health crisis. I do remember that part of it. And the person that referred her to me called me while I was on vacation. He says, look, I've got this patient. She's really struggling. Would you call her? And I said, look, I'm on vacation. Come on, and he says, no, she's really struggling. Beautiful, healthy young lady. Suddenly she's jaundiced. Her palms are yellow. Her eyes are yellow. They're telling her she's going to need a liver transplant. She's very upset. Would you call her? So I called her, and I barely remember that first conversation, but I'll tell you what, we've had hundreds since then. And she's built an organization that's, done multiple millions, probably approaching 10 million in sales, all from Instagram in her spare time. And then we've got the Cohenetic one, Pete Cohen, another person that had stage time, and his talk was so powerful. And especially Hannah, one of the things that I think I've realized about Pete is I believe Hannah's more of a bigger part of who he is now than even when she was here on earth with us. And her 5 words, just get on with it. Coming from your spouse who is about to breathe her last breath, that's got to be really impactful. But how many of us have something that we need to just get on with? And then I was given the opportunity to really highlight and share what everybody had to say. And every demographic from all over the world pretty much had the same message. This business is powerful. The skills are very learnable. The biggest thing that people need to do is just commit. Make that commitment, move forward, and then you can move mountains. And everybody on stage has moved mountains, and they're just getting started.
I love that. And a big shout out to everyone who made the event and made that effort. And, there were multiple events happening around the world. I know Nigeria was happening there. There was an Asian event as well. So, this is such a pivotal time for almost like a rebirth within our company. We're really excited about. And for guys, if you're watching this and you're wondering, well, what the heck has this got to do with me? How does this help me in any way? And we totally get it. We have some exciting incentives coming up for 2024. If anyone is looking for changes with their health or particularly with their abundance and their income, we have an amazing a series of additional promos for people who do want to take advantage of what we've got. So we're going to share a little bit about the incentive trips coming up for 2024. Our first incentive trips, Dr. Bob, the first one was Cancun, blew our minds. And that's actually when we started talking about social media. That's when we started doing videos for the first time. And people got such a good kick out of it. We're going to be releasing a video for this event over the next 48 hours as well. So keep an eye out for that in this group and, of course, on our Facebook. But the incentive trips are really, really special. It allows you to spend time with people who are successful, kick back with your family, enjoy some great food, and really get to learn and connect with the people you work with, Dr. Bob, because a lot of people, see this from the outside. Is this real? Like, is this real? Can you actually do this as a business? Like part-time, you can create that much abundance. Like, how is that possible? So tell us, what do you enjoy most about the incentive trips that you've been on so far in your 11 years in this journey?
Well, Eric, before these incentive trips, I had never taken a 5-star vacation. I somehow in my
Wow.
mind, even though, Kelly and I have done really, really well, I couldn't justify spending many, many thousands of dollars just for accommodations at a nice resort, so we never did it. Just that simple. So then our first incentive trip, the term blew my mind is really not an exaggeration, because it opened up a whole new level of opportunity. And the last time they had incentives, right before 2020, I actually got to go on too. As one of the top recruiters in the entire company, I went to a 5-star resort in Mauritius, and I had the presidential suite. And the gentleman that was helping carry my bags, he looked at me, he says, "Wow, you must be someone really important." And I said, "Why do you say that? Do you have it?" And he looked at me, he says, "You get the presidential suite. I mean, presidents get that." And I looked at it. Well, all of the top 10 on that particular trip got the presidential suite. And then guess what? I got the exact same treatment, Kelly and I, when we went to Bali. And two places that I probably never would have gone on my own. But what happened in each location? Better connections with people that are fully committed to creating their best life through one strategy: sharing treasures with people. Now, sometimes you share treasure with someone and they say, "Treasure's not right for me." And other times you share treasures with people and they say, "Oh, I love this treasure. And in fact, I think I'm going to share it too." Whatever you want to do with it, awesome, including say no, you can do that. But I encourage people, you might want to know what you're saying no to. In this case, you're saying no to a multi-billion-dollar, multinational opportunity with billion and trillion-dollar product offerings with patented competitive advantages that help people get healthy and live their best life.
So, just for anyone who's seeing this for the first time, Dr. Bob, could you just share like a super brief overview of what we've got? I mean, we now have multiple verticals that, if someone actually had a coffee with a good friend yesterday, and I was sharing the concepts with her, and she kind of looked at me and went, "Oh, this is a lifestyle company. This is not just coffee and tea. This is a lifestyle company, because you have so many verticals that align with living in an upgraded lifestyle." So we introduced, first of all, the company, crossed over $1 billion in sales quicker than Facebook. We're streaming on Facebook now, quicker than Facebook with zero advertising. So we could see straight off the bat, the world is changing. That was all through word of mouth and digital referral, because the digital game now, the click and order businesses are absolutely slam dunking the brick and mortar businesses. And that really showed up during the likes of COVID, because a lot of businesses were shut down. And I know over that period of time, your business growth went up. So, if we're not preparing for, multiple streams of income in markets that people want, then you're kind of setting yourself up for a tougher road. Like, obviously, this is not an easy business. It's very simple, but it's not an easy business. It takes time to grow. But tell us about your growth, Dr. Bob, by being at home during COVID in multiple business verticals that kind of just kept growing.
Well, big shout out to our company and our CEO, Paul Caldwell. He had a big plan when he partnered with us, and, he had the first 18 months. Okay, we've got to clean up a few things. We've got to organize a few things. We've got to get our infrastructure right. We're going to develop things that no other company has, like the IBM Products Trust, where people scan a barcode and they see, where did our products come from, and what's the quality, and what type of testing, and what type of manufacturing, and all that other stuff. But April 2020 was on the calendar, and he's a whiz at business, where they said, okay, this is where we enter our acceleration phase. Here we've stabilized. Now we're going to accelerate. So he had a call with all the leaders, and he said, look, I don't know what the rest of the world is doing, but I do know what we're doing. We're growing. We have what the world wants. We're going to make resources available to everybody, anybody that wants to learn how to use social media, Zooms. In fact, they even made Zoom accounts part of their offering, as you get into your own virtual website. But nonetheless, they showed us the way, and we just had extensive, steady, amazing growth, as did the entire company across the entire time. Now that's kind of amazing, because there were supply chain issues, there were shipment issues. So what did they do? They created new supply partnerships, a partnership with Beyond Organics here in the US, because they have our same value system and they can help. And they even hired away the global logistics expert with UPS. And so they are fully committed to us. They showed us the way and we said, okay, we get it. Everybody's growing. The world needs what we have. Let's jump in. So it was really just leadership. John Maxwell likes to say everything rises and falls with leadership. Our company has epic leadership. Our team has epic leadership. Now the question is, do you want to optimize the leadership within you? Because guess what? We can all lead, and we do lead. We lead by example. Now the question is, do we have people that want to follow our example?
There we go, Dr. Bob. It's really finding people that align with your personal philosophy and joining together to make both of your lives better, but as a consequence, everyone else's life better. So for me, as a person looking at an additional revenue stream, my personal philosophy, Dr. Bob, was this has to be something that adds value to other people as well as myself. And a win-win environment, I think, is the way forward. My dad used to always say that, the way forward. A win-win is always the way forward. Thanks, George. When it comes to offering what you've got with a sense of passion and belief. And I think that's really booming in our organization, Dr. Bob, is passion and belief. And when people pick up on that, they see, all right, this is something of significance. What the heck is going on? What are you guys sharing? So first of all, I didn't used to be a coffee drinker. I was skeptical. I didn't promote it as a coach because my biggest challenge as a coach was not helping clients when I'm not there. And we all know people are creatures of habit. And when I saw that our Reishi infused coffee and tea was genius and actually the real deal, because I felt like Bradley Cooper in Limitless with my first cup. Isa had a digestive challenge that rectified within 3 weeks. Now, no health claims, guys. That's our experience. And my mom had huge inflammation improvements within a couple of days. I said, wow, I have to share this with the world. So first off was the introduction of the top superfood infused and things that people want, which is absolutely genius. And I heard a quote, Dr. Bob, from Warren Buffett. I just like to speak to this when it comes to decisions in business. Warren Buffett said, what you do, make it your hobby. What the world does, make it your business. And I thought, wow, health and a habit. And 90 or 95% of traditional businesses go out of business in their first 3-5 years. But yet this is from home. There's no risk. There's no huge inventory to have to look after. There's no employees. How does this all tie in together to kind of become this super business, Dr. Bob, that you can do in your own time?
Well, I want to address that a couple different ways. I do think that people should do what they love and love what they do, and can someone, maybe have a niche business where they become such an expert that they become in demand. Certainly that's possible. And we have people that do it, but that's certainly not going to be most people. There's a book in years ago called The Entrepreneurial Myth. And basically they said, look, most people think they're getting into a business for themselves, but that's not what they've done. They've created a job, and most of them will be out of that job, out of business, something like 96% within 10 years. So there's a gentleman now, Patrick Bet-David, 40 something years old, worth hundreds of millions, now a minority owner in the New York Yankees. But he came up with a new term that I think describes what we do. He calls it intrapreneurship. He says, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start a new company, if you want to develop a new product, if you want to forge new markets, if you want to do all of the logistics, all of the compliance, all of the legal, all of the human relations, God bless you and good luck, because that's a rough road. And he knows because he's done it. But he says, here's what I encourage people to do. Become an intrapreneur. Partner with successful companies where you can build your own business with no limits within it. And that's actually what he created for his people. And that's how he's worth hundreds of millions. And that's essentially what our partners have done. Any one of us can join at any level for minimal amount. And in fact, now if you're in North America, I don't know if it's in that part of the world too, $15 to celebrate their 15-year anniversary. And then what's the monthly requirement? Absolutely nothing. Now, I don't recommend that you commit nothing to your business, but to optimize how much you get paid, $200 a month in personal orders. So, consider that versus, I tell people in my clinic, which I'm happy to have and honored to have, 9 years of education, at least $500,000 tuition cost, opportunity cost. And then if I don't go to my clinic, if I don't do anything in my clinic, my overhead is still $10,000 a month. That's what space and insurance and everything related to that cost. So compare $200 max, zero minimum, to 10,000 if I do nothing. It's a different model, very different model.
Yeah, and the stress that comes with that as well, Dr. Bob, is immense. I would imagine you've had days where you're, pardon the pun, probably pulling out your hair at the start, just trying to get things going. And, of course, you have that partnership with Kelly that kind of makes things, more unified and whatnot. And not everyone has someone as amazing as Kelly Rakowski in their lives, but it takes work, real work. And at the end of it, you could be under in a matter of years. And that's not to deflate people if they got an amazing idea and they're surrounded by people that can share that risk of time and investment themselves. But this is like already built. I mean, you just bring your energy, you bring your vibe, bring your core values, and bring your personal brand. And if you don't have a personal brand, you build it. And that's what we're doing right now, is building our personal brand, sharing the things we love to do, and having this as an add-on business, which, we see this year, our goal is to impact the lives of 100,000 people. And it's not going to be just us that's going to get that done. We're going to need to find more people like us that have similar values, that love health and love sharing value and health with other people. And that's the name of the game. But we started off with the vertical of a healthier coffee and tea, which is absolutely amazing. And that's really what we're personally most excited about. But what else has our company got in this ecosystem, Dr. Bob, that people can come in and either experience as a customer or experience this as someone who is very business minded and starts to promote this alongside of what they currently do?
Well, while you mentioned coffee and tea, right, that's where they started, but they have other gourmet beverages that they expanded to. And one of the first things was hot cocoa for kids. And so you look at something that's blood sugar friendly that can get kids, a lot of different health benefit. And again, we can't make claims, but I have plenty of kids that suddenly they stopped taking a medication that they thought was going to be required for them to succeed in school. And they drink a hot cocoa and they say, my brain feels better. My body feels better. My life is better. So thank you for that. They had some phenomenal weight loss shakes. Now it had a supply chain disruption, but we're creating new partnerships where we're going to bring back a grass-fed organic whey shake that's turbocharged with reishi that, you could be, someone who is interested in gaining weight, gaining lean mass, and you can do it with that. A lot of our supremely muscular athletes absolutely loved it, including professional athletes. Or there are the vast majority of people that wanted to lose weight. And on our team, the greatest loss that we saw with those shakes was 160 pounds or 70 couple kilos, right? So beyond amazing. Then you start looking and they brought in a brain technology, something called NeuroTracker, been around for over 20 years, over 50 published medical studies in every demographic, a better brain in 90 minutes. And what does that 90 minutes consist of? 6 minutes, 3 times a week with a game. And while I mentioned game, there are people that want to make a living as gamers. Their gaming ability comes up. There are executives that want to be a little sharper in their meetings. It works for them too. And then there are seniors that are starting to forget where their keys are and other things like that. A couple sessions and they realize, wait a minute, my brain is working better. They bought a skincare company, all organic skincare, everything super clean, so clean you could eat it. 20-year track record of success out of New Zealand, where all of this skincare products are, again, top shelf. Most recently, they bought, a Better Living Products company, where healthy cleaning products, healthy personal care products, where that company was called Reminiscence, almost like Reminiscience. That's our latest, I guess you'd call it, acquisition. And here's what I can tell you about our leaders. They want to bring anything and everything into the ecosystem that adds value and then travels back. And that's what's going to be exciting about the incentive trips for 2024 and beyond, where we have over 100,000 elite resort locations all over the world, which, by the way, all backed by the lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price anywhere, you screenshot it, they'll beat it by $1. But here's the advantage of us. Everything you buy applies purchase credit towards travel, towards vacation. and our leaders said, what, we're going to create just this arm of it as a multi-billion dollar a year business. So we are positioned to have something for everybody, not just in terms of what they want and what will make their life better, but things that they can share and enjoy every aspect of their life while possibly making more money in this than maybe any and everything that they do combined.
I love that. So lots of options for people to get inspired by, to add into their lifestyle. So, calls to action for people. If they're watching this, Dr. Bob, what would you recommend for them to do? And what are you most excited about over the next 15 years? We've just got 15 years down. You're 11 years in yourself. I'm closer, 8, just a little bit over 8. What are you most excited about for the next 15 years? And what's people's next step if they're seeing this? What would you recommend?
Well, what I'm most excited about is people that I wouldn't have met any other way suddenly become not just good friends, but good family and creating their best life. Mentioned Emily. I don't think I ever would have met Emily by any other mechanism, but yet now we've got someone that found a way to step up her game. And she'll tell you she doesn't have any special gifts or talents with that, but I'll tell you, I think she does. She's authentic and she's consistent. And with that is her secret sauce. So I'm excited about the Emilys that I'll meet, that you'll meet, that'll suddenly partner with us. And next thing you know, just one little nudge, and they are creating their best life by helping thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands or millions in certain cases.
Beautiful. And just had a flashback there when you were talking about Emily. Just backstage, I was going around, myself and Isa were grabbing as many people as we could and getting their stories from them. Just how did they make a decision to start and just to do? And for the most part, people were just moved internally when they tried this in their system, that they had such a profound shift that they had to start this. It became, pardon the pun, organic to share this. But like you said yourself, you've said many occasions on health calls, this is a crime not to share it with people. So I would personally recommend everyone who's watching this, if you haven't had an experience with our Reishi infused products, touch back with whoever you've seen this, or wherever you've seen this, whoever hosted it, or wherever you've got a tag on this. Touch back with them, as we all work on a referral basis. So it's cool for the person who shared the video with you, if they are an ambassador or a partner, for them to get the reward for that. But have an experience. You just don't know what you will do with the information, because everyone's busy. Everyone has something important on. Working busy is fine. But if working busy is all you're doing, then you're eventually going to run out of time, because most busy people associate their work to time. And if you're not the main cog, or sorry, I should say, if you are the main cog in your wheel of production and progress in your life, then you will eventually become the main clog. And I heard that from T. Harv Eckert, who is a massive ambassador for our style of business, Dr. Bob, through referral, through this compression of this affiliate or almost franchise type business, that it is such a better way. It's a better way to use your time, have a long-term vision, and actually get to work on your personal skills in the process of growing your business, which in traditional business, you would be absolutely destroyed. You don't have the luxury of trying things out and working on your personal skills. If you don't have A, B, C, D, all the way to Z plan for a traditional business, you're going to lose most likely a lot of money, and you're going to be heartbroken. And thankfully, we don't have that process with our business. So I'm going to leave the last words to you, Dr. Bob. Sign people off, and we will see you guys on Tuesday. We were touching on hormone health on Tuesday. So if you guys know of anyone who struggles with their hormones, then please reach out. Let us know. We'll send you the details for the call. We will be streaming live in our customer group on Facebook. We'll be streaming on Dr. Bob's personal Facebook. And of course, I'll be streaming on mine as well. So over to you, Dr. Bob, to close out the call.
All right. Well, I'd like to borrow the strategy from one of the most successful entrepreneurs ever, a guy named Jim Rohn, poor farm boy from Idaho. By the time he finished, net worth $500 million. But here are his 4 questions. Why? Why'd you take the time to join us today? There's so many other things you could do. Second question is the answer to the first. Why not? Why not partner with a group and a company that are committed to sharing the treasures of the world with the people of the earth? Next, why not you? Someone's going to say, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to be the next big story. I'm ready to take my health to the next level. I can learn to share from the heart. I can learn about authenticity. And I want to take that incentive trip. Wouldn't that be fun? And the final question is, why not now? So here's the reality. The longer you wait to act on information, the least likely you are to act on it. So the call to action is fairly straightforward. Get back to whoever referred you to this live or the replay and let them know, hey, I'm ready to start my best life. And as I like to finish, I'm Dr. Bob Rutkowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Bob. See you guys soon.